What's up, guys? Today's video is the difference between 5 core and a 9 core. Okay? Oh, fuck. So, it's we can always go into new ones. We can always try to find every single little difference between types. And that is what people oftentimes do, right? You have two types and then they nitpick the details. Well, this type smiles this way, this type jerks off that way, and it confuses everyone. It's like, well, I don't relate to that little thing. It's a detail. It's always good to take a step back and look at the big picture. Okay, because then you'll get the answer. And sometimes the answer is right in front of you, staring at your motherfucking face without you realizing it. So, the biggest difference between a 5 core and a 9 core is that one's a geek and the other one's obese. I said it, and that's it. And before you say, well, maybe, well, I'm not fair, I work out. Maybe you guys took it a bit too literally. But let me explain what I actually mean. So 5, when I'm saying they're a geek, the differences are pretty huge. So 5s are one of the most abstract and imaginative types. Genuinely, they're like fucking top 3 in terms of level of abstraction, the level of intellectualism, and orientation towards, again, headedness, like thinking about shit, processing things on an intellectual level, understanding things, breaking things down. So that's something to remember. And because they replace learning, they replace constantly intellectualizing everything, gaining knowledge, and they gain safety in that. They replace that with living.
Why should I live in history, huh? Look, I don't want to know anything anymore. This is a world where nothing is solved. When someone once told me time is a flat circle.
That causes them to have difficulty staying grounded in the physical world, to have difficulty being present in the physical world. Okay, so remember that. It's difficult for them to stay present-minded, to engage in the physical world.
We are things that labor under the illusion of having a self, this accretion of sensory experience and feeling, programmed with total assurance that we are each somebody, when in fact everybody's nobody.
They're detached. So the detachment is something that's always going to be visible with 5 cores, Now, with a 9 core, it's the opposite problem. They're extremely grounded type. They're very sensory. No, I was about to fucking burp, but I didn't. So, for most people, not most people, but there were many people, right, saying that intuitive 9 core is not possible. It literally is fucking not possible. And of course, I'm not here to tell you what fucking is possible or not possible. This is not a typology channel. But yes, many people do claim it's a 9 core cannot be an intuitive type, okay? But let's not get into that. The point is that, yes, 9s tend to be very sensory oriented. Okay? And in the trait structure of Naranjo of a 9 core, the foundation is the sensitization towards the abstract, towards the kind of soft and intuitive. So they become very, very sensory focused people. Very grounded, enjoying that physical pleasure to numb themselves out. They don't have a problem staying grounded in the physical world. They can often operate in this zombie mode, where they're almost existing as a fucking shell of a human and just living like that. But there is detachment from everything subtle, also emotions, abstraction, intuition. The more unhealthy they get, the worse it gets. They don't get more intuitive and more abstract over time. They become less even so. Just numb themselves out like a fucking vegetable. That's what they are. They become a fucking vegetable. So that's the biggest difference between both types. Okay, and now, of course, both are withdrawn types, and that is why you'll see many people confuse them, right? I see SLI 5 course thinking SLI 9 course thinking they're 5 course, like, oh, I'm an SLI 5. In reality, they are just a 9, and they believe they're 5 because they fucking, again, circle jerk to fucking logic and circle jerk to learning. Sometimes I like learning. Okay, any type can be smart, any type can be good in being analytical, but the point is that the whole life of a 9 core is not about abstraction, intellectualism, intuition. It's actually the opposite of that. So are you a fat fuck? Are you capable of being a fat fuck? Right? Do you like your comfort? Do you tend to almost numb yourself out to comforts and with comforts and such substances even? Do you like that feeling good and the familiarity and just the passivity of it? Or are you a fucking geek who's a virgin, spends his life learning, has a hard time staying grounded, has autism, right? Has inertia when it comes to acting in the moment, has a hard time acting in the moment because he can suffer from analysis paralysis and he doesn't know what the fuck to do. So those two types are hugely different. Just ignore the one smart, the other one's dumb. Focus on the cognitive orientation. Intuitive against sensory. Are they grounded and physical, or are they floating in the fucking sky being autistic? That is a big difference between both types. Okay? Now, that's fucking it. That's it. 6 minutes of this, that's all you need to know. As I told you, geek, obese. That's it. Don't take it too literally, boys, okay? Cheers.